Astra Travelers, and welcome to a very flirtatious episode of Tales of Teyvat. In honor of Valentine's Day, we're going to be discussing some of our favorite Genshin ships. But before we jump into it, I want to remind travelers to visit talesofteyvat.com to check out all the awesome content we put together for Season 1 and to see some of our photos and information about the ships we talk about today. On our site, you can also find some awesome goodies, including artist spotlights from Season 1, wallpapers for download, and a way to check out some of our favorite Genshin merch. Finally, feel free to email us at talesofteyvatpod@gmail.com to let us know what you think of this week's ships and what topics you'd like to see in Season 2 starting March 15th. But before we jump into our ships, and I know we've all been really gearing up for this because, as most of you know, we're obsessed with ships in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't just mean the community, I mean us.
We have a smut chat where we just post smut of Genshin characters of age, of course.
I'm too innocent for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sure, bees. Sure.
So, I have two quick questions before we jump into our ships. My first question is, who do you think is the most flirtatious character in this game?
Kaya.
Yaimiko.
Yaimiko.
Whoa, wow. I expected everyone to say Lisa.
Nah.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right.
You're right,
Lisa.
yeah.
It is Lisa.
Nah.
It is Lisa.
I'm still sticking with Yaimiko.
Okay, all right.
I think she could flirt Lisa under a table.
Ooh.
Yaimiko makes Goru so flustered.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think Yaimiko makes me flustered.
Yaimiko plays mind game. Like, you don't understand what's happening when she's flirting with you, whereas Lisa's just like upfront about it.
I would take the upfrontness. I can't tell who's flirting or not.
And Kaya's a good one too, Al. I think a lot of times we go right to like the flirty girl characters in the game, but Kaya's a giant flirt.
Hazo's a flirt too.
Mhm.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Isn't his like birthday voice line about like locking us up in a room?
Remember
my.
his hangout. Remember when he like just randomly whispers in our ear.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yalan.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was hot. I'm not gonna lie, that was hot.
That lantern, right, Yolan? Oof.
Oh.
She's on fire.
It's so funny. Like all the characters are so flirtatious with Traveler. Like I don't think we've met a single character that doesn't like flirt a little bit with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clear who Hoyo wants us to be with.
It's very good for my ego.
What, Sakayaka?
No, the worst date, the least flirtatious.
Hey,
No.
she got her socks wet for us.
That's disgusting.
Did she wash those socks after she got in that nasty river?
For my any future partner out there, I do not want that. Don't do it. I will just break up with you.
Damn.
Okay, second question, and then we'll jump into things. Who is your favorite Traveler ship? Now, before you say anything, I can feel you guys all ready to burst a little bit. I know that sometimes like it's different with Lumine and Ether. So feel free to give one for each of them or the same one. I can say first, my favorite Lumine ship is Chai Lumi. I like Child Lumine. But my favorite Ether ship is Zhao Ether.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's a
Which
good
is like,
one.
Hoyoverse has really been pushing the Zhao Ether stuff lately.
Yeah.
Mhm. They really have.
You know, it's weird. I don't think I actually thought about that with either because I don't play with him. I play with Lumine. So I'm almost like, I know that they behave the same. Depending on like so who it is, so it shouldn't matter. But I'm like, I don't know. All I can keep thinking of is Catherine because he looks so devastated in that cutscene when you see with Sumeru. I'm like, oh, he loves Catherine.
I mean, it was Nahida at the time.
I'm here for the Ether Catherine ship.
Let's go. But who would you put Lumine with, Tiff?
Oh, I put Lumine. There's going to be some story that comes back to Child. And while I don't think that he has had his full redemption arc as much as Feens believes, I think it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's kind of like that was a little setup to what's going
Right.
to happen. And I think that it's Lumine Child.
All right, Al, B, what are your thoughts?
So the Aether Zhao, top tier. I also, it's more of a throuple of Aether Child and Zhongli.
Oh.
That's an amazing ship. So I'm going to go with that one. Get the throuple in there.
Ooh.
And then with Lumine, it's actually Lumine and Skara.
Okay.
It's become my favorite just because there's a couple of comics that have come out on Twitter that have been like really cute and like heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah, the comics always get you.
Yeah, it's either that or Lumine and Zhao too. So Zhao just needs some love.
Zhao needs
baby
all the
Zhao.
hugs. But he's like,
All of
stay
them.
away from me, my karmatic debt.
That poor emo boy.
All right, B, what you thinking? I know it's a warm-up question almost.
Okay, so I ship Lumine with, I'm going to say Ayaka, even though it's really close with her and Noelle,
Okay.
Ooh.
because of Noelle's hangout was so romantic.
Yeah, it was.
Remember that picture where they're like snuggling under the tree? Together? Yeah,
Yes.
so cute.
I think I have it in my teapot.
Yeah.
But I love the Ayaka story quest where she gets her socks wet and maybe
my
something
God.
else.
That could be
But
such an innuendo. She
It
got
is.
a
Oh,
wet.
I just love how romantic it was. I mean, I almost ship Ether and Ayaka together, but I play as Ether and I don't really ship him with anyone. So I like to sort of, I'm going to say that I ship Ether alone or maybe asexual.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I'm kind of feeling that vibe. But if I had to pick someone for Ether, I probably would pick Hazo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that Hazo could like use his detective skills to help find his sister.
He probably would be the only one who could.
Right.
Or Yelan. The two of them together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. I like these. All right. So, travelers listening, each one of us has prepared our top 3 ships. So, we're going to go around and we're going to say what our 3 ships are. Each of us can give like a few sentence description, and then I have some questions about them.
Ooh.
Mm.
Almost like we're playing like a couples game, like, you know, like when they hold up the shoe, it's like, who studied more in college? And they like hold up their shoe at the bridal shower, like that style. So let's see who knows their ships best and
Uh-oh.
who has the best ship. I will be judgy.
I would also like to know if we surprise you with any of them.
Okay.
I won't.
If anybody is surprised, because I feel like you all know exactly which ones I'm going to say. So I'll be interested to see if I shock anybody.
I want to say before we jump into things that I had a really hard time with this because one of the ships that I kind of like includes Albedo, but I am like so hardcore into Nat Albedo that like I couldn't get my mind out of my story. And I was like, nope, can't say it. Like I'm not going for it. It's really weird how that kind of affects you too.
Yeah. Well, you've been working on your OC for so long. I mean, I don't blame you.
Mhm.
You have a whole relationship going on there.
I do.
You're like, I ship Albedo with me.
Yeah. Me as the author.
I wish I was as cool as Nat, but unfortunately, I am not. I'm not a knight. I don't got a badass scar.
Cool.
Thank you, but
You
no.
are cool.
Anyway, less about me and my fictional boyfriends. Let's go with Al, because we go in ABC order for everything in this world. Al,
Okay.
who are your top 3 ships?
I'm gonna not surprise anyone. I went with splitting my 3 ships into what are my favorite hetero, my favorite Le Dollar Beans, and my favorite gay boys. Because of course. So hetero, no surprise, Jean DeLuc. Vanilla as shit.
That's a classic one. I feel like the game is all about that ship.
Yeah, I don't know why that's definitely not vanilla though, Al. I think it's quite steamy.
Well, I mean, vanilla as in that's very expected of me to say that.
Okay.
I couldn't have done Jean and Lisa, and like I do like it, but I just want more of a, how do I say, a more fucking
A little spicy.
but also I want pining, and D-Luke's the best piner.
Oh, okay.
I want a Pride and Prejudice moment. I want that.
I've actually seen some art where they've drawn them to be, I forget the 2 names. Was it Darcy?
You mean Mr. Darcy?
Yeah,
and
I've seen
Elizabeth? Lizzie?
I've seen that art on Twitter 100%.
I could see that.
The best Pride and Prejudice, and I will die on this hill, is with Colin Firth. And if you don't watch that one, I will judge you. The other one with Keira Knightley is also great. It's great, but Colin Firth is the best Mr. Darcy.
I haven't seen it, but I can't disagree with that because that just seems like a role made for him.
It is so good. He is so awkward, and it makes so much sense when you read it, and have also like just lived anyway. So that was my hetero.
That's a good way to describe them because I actually like them too, and I don't like most straight ships, but I actually like them together, and I think you're right. They're both so reserved, so it's like you're waiting for their feelings to sort of bubble up and be uncontainable.
The best. Hot smut.
I also always am curious if like they were together prior to like Diluc leaving Mondstadt in the manga, like right before, you know, before the manga. And I've headcanoned that they were, and that's another issue with my story, because they're like definitely like a tertiary relationship in my story. But like I would love to know if they were together, if they ever had like a flirty relationship, and then, you know, Diluc had to fucking leave and ruin it all.
I mean, he was going through some shit, so it's understandable. Okay, also a non-surprising La Dollar Bean, and it's because I love both of these women very, very much, and that's Beto and Ningguang. And I love the archetype of very outspoken, very brash woman with a very high, mighty, reserved, very rich woman. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm like, I feel like I'm Beto, and I just want to be with Gillian Anderson. Yeah, I know she doesn't listen to this podcast, but Gillian Anderson, if you are, hello.
I know, it's like, first off, hi.
Did I tell y'all about when I went to see her in a play in London?
No.
It was her version of All About Eve. And I waited for like the box office to open. Like if you wait in line super early, you can get same day tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
In like the first 2 rows. So I was like, hell yeah. So I was like waiting there for hours. And everyone who showed up early, except for me, were like these obsessive lesbians. Like she has the most insane lesbian following that are like stalkers. Like the stuff I was hearing is like these people follow her around. They know like what time she picks up her kids. Like,
Oh
my
my
God.
I mean, that's a bit crazy, but have you seen her?
oh, of course, I fully
seen
understand.
her in a pantsuit without a shirt.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's perfect. She's flawless.
She's
yeah.
flawless. All right. Okay. And now for my homo boys. This was also not surprising, but it's more of a new ship, and that is Al Haytham and Kiva or Kaveh. Who I can't pronounce his name right now.
You know,
I'm so
I
sorry.
thought it was Kava, but I was doing the story today and he says Kaveh.
Kaveh.
Yeah, I thought it was
Kaveh?
Kava too, but I think it is Kaveh.
Oh, I thought I was saying cave. It's cave.
Kaveh.
Wait,
Yeah.
say it again, Brendan.
Kaveh.
Cave.
Kaveh.
Coffee.
That sounds more right.
Cave.
Either way, they're an old gay married couple, and you can't change my mind. You can't. Like, he's coming home, and Kaveh is like, I'm moving all of the paintings right now. Like, we're doing this right now.
They're hilarious. We all know couples like them too.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And it's also, they have the best smut. They got the best smut.
They do. It's
They
true.
do. Mhm.
Al's right.
Want him in game. Whenever he's in game,
There are rumors.
there are rumors, hopefully soon before 4.0. But yeah, no, we need him because I just want them in my party and I want them to bicker. And I love it when they bicker because, of course, they go home and make up in many different ways. But those are my 3 ships. And not surprising, they're the best and hottest and steamiest.
I'm dead. Okay, so then B, you're next. Who are your top 3 favorite ships?
Okay, so my number 3 was going to either be Al's number 2 and 3. So I couldn't
Yeah.
decide between Baiguang and or Kavatham, I think is what they're calling
Oh
him.
that rolls better.
I was gonna go with Baiguang, and I feel like Kavatham is gonna climb the charts as we get to see them more.
Mhm.
Ooh,
But yeah, it's sort of for the same reason for Baiguang. I really like that one of them is really reserved, and the other one, you know, she's like the richest person in the nation and has all this esteem about her, and she's with this like whiskey drinking pirate. And I like the idea that they both grew up from like very humble means, and they're both super successful now, but in completely different ways. So I feel like they probably connect in that way and sort of have that respect for each other. And then my number 2 is, of course, no one's surprised, but Eula Amber. I love Eula and Amber together. I feel like Eula is like the lesbian character for me. She's just so gay. And I love that they're very opposite. I love that she's cold and Amber's warm. And they bring out, you know, probably the best parts of each other.
They go to the hot springs together.
Wherever they are.
No matter how cold it is,
they're gonna strip together and bathe together.
I mean, isn't hot spring on a cold mountain the perfect way to sum up their relationship?
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
My number 1 is Kazuha and Tomo.
Yeah.
And I love that one, obviously, because of the drama and, you know, that whole Inazuma storyline, and like the vision lighting up was so beautiful. But I really like also that, you know, we never got to meet Tomo. So you kind of can use your imagination and paint their story however you want.
I want more Tomo.
The tragedy of it all.
I wish they would give us flashbacks.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you know what?
More.
Flashbacks are definitely newer to the game overall. Like, we've definitely just started to see them, really. Starting with Iridori, and I mean, Sumeru really gave us a lot of flashbacks. So I think there's a high shot of you getting that soon.
They need to like open a domain where you're going into Irminsul and you can go into the past and like witness things that happen.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. It would answer so many fucking questions.
But that would even be cool to see like past cutscenes, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
Persona 5 has that. In Persona 5, at least in Persona 5 Royals, you can go, I forget what it's called, but there's like a little like game room area. And if you go there, it's like a lounge. There's an area where you can go and actually watch some of the cutscenes and see like some of the pretty art that they kind of just show on the screen. That would be so cool.
Yeah, they should do that in Genshin.
Ooh, okay. And then you say, okay, so here's my one question before we move on to me. Who are you shipping Kazuha with now? If he were to move on, who's your person he's moving on with?
If he moves on.
I mean, sometimes you can't move on. It's hard.
I know.
I mean, I want him to eventually, but I don't think he's there yet.
But what if he were? Like, who would it be?
If he were, a lot of people ship him with Ayaka, which I don't mind. I know people ship him with Heizo, which I don't mind. But yeah, I don't really have anyone particular in mind yet, but I'm always on the lookout. Like, I feel like he and Heizo would be cute, but like there's something that's not perfect about it. So I'm still kind of like waiting for the right character.
We know who Jolly would ship Kazuha with.
Who?
Herself.
Absolutely.
Jolly is like queen of random ships, like just putting two characters next to each other and be like, they look good together. It's one of my favorite things ever. You'll be like waiting to enter a domain with her and she's like, they look cute, don't they? This is it. She's like, this is my OTP. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what? I'm like, these characters have nothing to do with each other. Okay, so I guess it's my turn now. And I stutter as I say it because I had such a hard time picking like my third couple.
Just give us multiples if you can't decide.
Oh God, you're gonna get like 75 couples for the last one. So my favorite couple, hands down, is Sino Tighnari. I really like that they're giving us this like hidden relationship idea. They've definitely dropped a lot of breadcrumbs about it. Even in the newest Starlit Sky animation thing that's online for this month. It's like Tighnari's was like, I sent Kali to go get Sino so we could watch the fireworks together. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Why is this the perfect idea of two gay dads and their little adopted daughter?
Literally.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like Sino only listens to Tighnari and vice versa. They seem to both be like very hot-headed people who are very soft around one another. And I think people usually think that like Tighnari is like the softer one, but I think Tighnari is more likely to kill you if you hurt Sino than vice versa. I just like the dynamic of them a lot. I think it's a lot of fun, and I have found so much good and adorable art about it, especially after Tighnari got struck by lightning. There was so much good art that came out from that. So they're my number one. My second one is Xiangyun Xingqiu, which I'm sure surprised nobody.
They were close to the top for me as well.
I like almost the innocence in their relationship. Like, it's very mutual pining. I would assume that's how they got together, was through like a mutual pining type of thing. And it's very clear, especially after the newest Lantern Rite, that Shang Yun knows Xingqiu's secret and knows that he's an author and has kept that a secret from all their other friends. And I like that, and this is going to sound weird, maybe. You guys might be like, what the hell, Amanda? But I actually like that Xingqiu tests Shang Yun's Yang energy abilities. I feel like it's his way of pushing Shang Yun out of his comfort zone. So like slipping a pepper into his food, he's like, this is the Shang Yun I love. He's being a little crazy and kooky today because he had a pepper. Or he's going to go on stage and sing and dance with Jinyan, but he's having a good time. Like, I feel like Xingqiu does it more so to benefit Shang Yun, not to like pick fun at him.
Right.
I also like that Xingqiu is always coming up with ghost stories and trying to get Shang Yun to feel like he's doing something with the ghosts, since like none of the ghosts will come near Shang Yun. And that's really where I like run into an issue. And the long list is like Hu Tao Zhao, Kaya Albedo, Heizo Kazuha, Jean Diluc, Mona Scara, Child Lumine. I don't want to ship the Traveler because I feel like everyone is shipped with the Traveler, so I didn't want to throw that in. And I think if I really had to pick, it would be between Hu Tao Zhao and Kaya Albedo.
Really? I am shocked that it wasn't Child Lumine.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like shipping the Traveler with someone is so hard because they ship everyone with the Traveler and everyone is so flirty. So I just feel like it's not a fair ship to put out there, if that makes sense. Like, it's something I would never write about personally. Like, I've written a lot of Tingyari Sino, like angsty pieces, and I've written, you know, Shang Yun and Xingqiu are dating and friends with Nat in my story, but I would never write Traveler. That's a fucking lie, actually. I am writing Traveler and Child together. But I don't want to include it. So then Kaya Albedo I like, but I have a hard time because Nat and Albedo are dating. And also, like, we kind of threw out a few times the Kaya Albedo sibling theory. And now I'm just like,
that's
no.
what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, would that change if they found out they were
yeah, of course
bros?
It would change. So I
They
have
were
to
not
go.
true bros, but brothers.
So I have to go Hu Tao Zhao.
Yeah.
And my reasoning for that is they have this weird connection with butterflies. And I forget exactly where it comes from, but like Hu Tao's storyline is something about butterflies, and Hu Tao has this weird connection to the afterlife and to death. And I think that Zhao also has a weird connection, more mentally than physically, like Hu Tao does, to death as well, and to that afterlife thought. And Hu Tao, as we saw in Lantern Rite, I shipped them before Lantern Rite of 2023, just an FYI for our travelers listening. But I really think Lantern Rite proved that they were kind of meant to be at the same time, because Hu Tao went out of her way to invite Zhao. She had no other reason. She was like, the Conqueror of Demons is coming to our freaking dinner, coming to my dinner, and we are going to honor him, and I'm going to let him know that he's going to be safe and he's not going to hurt anyone. And the fact that Zhao actually came, he was like, I felt like it'd kind of be rude not to go. And I'm pretty sure he also says in one of his voice lines that he finds Hu Tao funny. And I just like the idea of the two of them. I think Hu Tao isn't afraid of death because of her connection with the afterlife. So even if having a vision didn't keep her safe from Zhao, she'd still be with him. But I could go on forever and ever on that. So those are my three. Tiff, it's your turn. Before I ramble too much more.
My top one is Raiden Yaimiko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just think that the story very much puts them together as having the strong relationship, probably more so as friendship, but I think it goes much past that. I think like Yaimiko, kind of that same thing you were saying with Shangyu and Xingqiu, it's Yaimiko is pushing A kind of is stuck in this little like loop, and Yaimiko's like, you know what we could do? I'm gonna send this traveler over there and just go fuck things up. But it's for her own good at the same time. So I think I just really like them together as like kind of always being there for one another.
Yeah.
My second ship, I don't know if anybody else ships these two together, but to me, it makes the most perfect sense, and is Rosaria and Shenhe.
Yes.
And it's mainly because they just seem like the most outsider characters, but they're in so much. Like, they're important characters, and like they come up a lot, but they never really seem to click entirely with people. There's always a little bit of outsider notion with them. So I just think that would bring them together. I also think that they're both sus in a way. I love them both, but they both have something else going on that I really hope one day comes out. But I think because of that, their trauma of Rosaria was pulled from her family, but Shenhe's family tried to kill her. You know, they have these equal bonds. They are both raised by other people. And, you know, I think that they can relate to one another for that.
I love it.
And they're hot.
And they're hot.
And they're hot. They're just very, very hot.
Lesbians. I'm all about it.
So the last one is, and this is funny, this somewhat was a joke in the beginning, but I truly, truly stick by it. I love Sino and Candace together.
We
It
know.
really developed from a piece of art. We have a spotlight on on an artist for the Sumeru episode, which is, their name is Two Bells, One Ravine. And it's actually this piece that's up there. And it's this beautiful painting of Sino and Candace. And they are meant to be together. Like, they are just one. And I used to, every time that Feens would bring up her Tignari Sino ship, I'd be like, that's nice and all, but it's Candace. Like, that's cute, but no.
Every time.
And my only argument to it was, did you see the picture? So I would just I would just send the picture to her. And I'm
And
like,
then I'd
come
be
on.
like, I don't care about your fucking picture. Every time.
But what do you think of the Candace Deha?
Oh, I like that one too. I do like that one too. And that's probably the one that could potentially sway me, but I can't go down that road yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. I'm sticking with Sino Candace. And again, so if you check out between our seasons, make sure you check out all of our artist spotlight. It was something that we introduced a little bit later into the season. So you'll start seeing some posts on our social media to kind of catch up, so we can make sure we give a lot of love to some of these great artists that are in the community. But you'll also look at it and go, oh yeah, Sino Candace, Sumeru
Unless
episode.
you're me, you'll be like, no. Okay, so I have some questions about your ships now, and you guys can answer in whatever order you want. But who made the first move in these ships?
Oof.
Let me go
Ooh.
first.
I was like, I already know.
Yeah, Jean and Diluc are still trying.
I'm dead. No move has been made.
Nothing. No move has been made. They're still pining. It'll be another 20 years before they finally admit to themselves that they're in love. Of course, it was Beto with Beto and Ningguang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though I feel like Beto was the first to say that they were like interested, but Ningguang was the one who like took the upper hand and like made it happen. And then I feel like with Al-Haytham and Teyvat, it was, you know what? I think it would have been Al-Haytham at that time who made the first move.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good point.
The first move being, hey, why don't you move into my house?
Yeah. It's like,
the
no,
very first move.
no. It's like, we'll make a deal if you move in. And
You gotta bread my butter.
Yeah.
Bread my butter?
If you're staying for free to recoup your palace funds, yeah.
I said that
It's-
completely backward. It's butter my bread.
Bread my butter.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
okay,
bread
we-
butter
my
now.
butter.
Got it.
Screw that.
Al-Haytham and Kaveh are so lesbian. I mean, to move in that fast. Like, was there like a U-Haul Sumter Beast?
Yes.
Yes,
You missed it. It was
absolutely.
off to the back.
Well, that's the thing. He probably had to sell all his stuff to like try and like recoup all the money he lost.
Yeah, because of Dory. Like, damn, Dory, calm down.
So it's like he came in and like, I have a key. I have a key to my name, and I keep losing my key.
That's the real ship, is Dory and Mora.
The Scrooge McDuck of this world.
That little psychopath. She's a little Elton John psychopath. That is my explanation for her always. And I love her. She's such a little like weirdo.
Absolutely.
So for me, my big one, I'm going to say it was Ningguang who made the first move, because I could see Beto sort of flirting with her and like an almost like, I dare you to be ashamed of me flirting with you. And Ningguang kind of like, coyly like allowing it to happen and like not really giving away anything. And then actually like forcefully like making a move on Beto, and like I could see Beto being like really like shocked and embarrassed by it at first.
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay.
And then my number 2, Eulamber, I think Eula obviously made the first move there, and Amber was shocked and then was like, what are these feelings?
Is this vengeance?
And then with Kazuha Tomo, I think I like to imagine that Tomo was sort of more of the dominant one, because I mean Kazuha is so chill and kind of like flowing with the breeze, and I could see Tomo sort of being more of like his anchor and like more straightforward and upfront. And I mean, we know that he was really ambitious and like had a strong sense of justice and everything, so I could see him being sort of more direct. So I'm going to say Tomo for that one.
Tomo also seems like, I don't know, more mature for some reason in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would be like, bro, these are feelings. We gotta figure this out.
I'm sure he said bra to
Yeah.
his boyfriend,
Yeah.
Feeny.
Why wouldn't you? They weren't dating yet. That's why. So for mine, I'm going to say that Hu Tao 100% made the first move on Zhao.
Zhao's too awkward.
He's too awkward. He's too afraid he's going to like hurt her somehow. And she's like, calm the fuck down. Let's go on a date. Xiangyun and Xingqiu, I definitely think it's Xingqiu again. I think that between these two couples, it's very obvious who made the first move. For Sino Tingari, it's a little harder. I'd like to say that Sino made the first move, but that Tingari was at his breaking point of almost making the first move. I think Tingari is a little more emotionally aware, and Sino probably took a little bit to come to the realization of like, oh.
Oh.
And I feel like Tingari wouldn't want to make Sino uncomfortable when Sino wasn't really 100% sure what was going on in his like emotional capacities. So I think it was Sino, but I think, Tingari was right on that edge of being like, ugh, just kiss me, you fool.
I would say that with Raiden and Yaimiko, again, Yaimiko being the absolute flirt that she is, I think that she would have initiated it, but I almost feel like she would have initiated it without really even knowing. Because I feel like Yaimiko is that type of person who just flirts. Like, she doesn't actually know all the time she's doing it.
Right.
Trust me, she knows when she's doing it. Like Guru has found out. But, I think she's just that kind of exudes this type of nobleness. She's got this crazy amount of self-esteem, I guess. So I just really feel like it was her. With Rosaria and Shenhe, I kind of feel like it was like a mutual. I could see them like hanging out at like Angel Share and just getting drunk, which normally Rosaria would do with Kaya. So I could see them just kind of like having a few and just kind of almost stepping into it. The last one I would say with Sino and Candace, I'm going to say it was Candace because a boy with shorts like that, it's got to be Candace. He's got to. She's definitely wears the pants of the family. I'm sorry, I had to bring it back to the shorts again.
Oh my God,
but I do feel like Candace is a very strong character, and I think that Sino would kind of be like a little bit like, I'm doing all my work, brooding in this corner, and Candace be like, but hey, hey.
She's like, put that down and
Yeah.
get over here.
Come over here.
So then my next question is, how long have your ships been together for?
Eternity. Literally.
They're not together. They're just pining.
Oh, you know what? I actually do not know when Yaimiko comes into Ai's story. Now that I think about it, I do not know when she shows up.
I think it's after. Wasn't it after the other?
I would imagine it's after the Cataclysm because she's not shown in anything with that little group of people with like Lady Singon and stuff. Singo.
The trauma friend group that all died.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to look into that because I actually do not know. But I'm sure it was like, I think that song, like, I've loved you for 1,000 years, like that's them.
Oh,
Totally them.
so cute.
And Rosaria and Shenhe, I would say, is fairly new. Because I think when like Shenhe just finally came down off of the mountains, fixed the Jade Chamber, I think that's when she just finally started talking to people. And I think there's a lot still in her story where she's like, I'm trying to be human. And she is human. But she's just like, I don't know what it's like to be a person.
What is personhood? We don't
Honestly,
know.
I have no idea.
Yeah. And I think with my last one with Sino and Candace, they've been together for a bit.
That would make sense too.
I admit it took us completely out of order.
That's literally fine. I'll go next. So I think that Sino and Tingari have been together since like a year before Kale came into the picture. I think that they kind of were still like a fresh relationship and they've been together maybe like a year. And then Sino just came back from onset one day and was like, we have child.
And not the murderer.
Yeah, not the murderer, but we have a kid now. And Tingari was like, what the fuck? All right. I do feel like, they had to have been together in some capacity for Sino to be like, Tingari's going to be cool with this. So I do think they've probably been together the longest out of mine. I would then say next is Xiangyun and Xingqiu, and even then it's still fresher, maybe like a year, because they are a little younger. So I think that they did a lot of like mutual pining and maybe just got together. There's a chance that they're not together just because of everything with Xingqiu's family. I know we kind of expressed that maybe Xingqiu's family wouldn't be the most accepting of Xingqiu and Xiangyun. So there's that idea too. So I'm not sure if they have been together about a year or if they're like under the covers together. And then I would say Hu Tao and Zhao is like brand new. And not necessarily because of Lantern Rite, but because of the Chasm. The Chasm storyline with Zhao is where he realizes he can be with humans that have visions. So I would say that, you know, they've maybe been together a few months.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I needed to research this one because I feel like some of them you might be able to actually find out.
Oh, that's true.
In terms of like when they met and stuff. But, you know, with Kazuha Tomo, obviously Tomo died during the Vision Hunt decree.
He went.
So it was before that. I would say like they still were so in love in my mind at that point. So I would say that it was like within just a few years of that.
Okay.
And then with Yulambert, I mean, I would say that's like relatively new. I think that is definitely like within maybe like the last 3 to 4 years. Wait, how old is Amber? Like 19 or something?
I thought she was like 20 because she can drink at the
20?
tavern, right?
I don't know. The drinking laws are confusing.
Like it was definitely not before Amber turned 18.
Yeah.
With Ningguang and Beidou, I feel like that one was like a little bit longer, like maybe like
well established
10 years ago or something, as like Beidou was, you know, building her sort of reputation, and Ningguang was like, I can't ignore this pirate business that's going on, so I need to meet this person. And that's when that started.
And then Al, did you say all of yours were still like mutual pining? Is that
No.
what you...
No. I was just saying, like, clearly Jean and Diluc are not together yet. They're still pining. It'll take them another century. I agree definitely with Bees, with like Ningguang and Beidou. Like it's got to be either 5 to 10 years that they've been like they're pretty established. They're very comfortable, and like it's not a new thing. With Alhaitham and Teyvat, I'm gonna say relatively recent that this started because they were roommates, and I had to say it. And so like whenever they moved in a day after, that's how long.
I'm dead.
The day after.
So who walked in on who while they were getting dressed?
Alhaitham walked in.
Okave was just like walking around nude.
Yeah, basically. It's like, what are you doing home? I thought you were with the scribes. It's like, that ended an hour ago.
Alhaitham goes, I'm the only scribe.
Alhaitham is like sitting naked, like with his feet up on the table.
He's like, this is what I would normally do. I'm making myself at home.
He's like, I forgot I invited you in. So I have one last question then, and you guys won't like me for this question.
Oh no.
Out of your ships, it's endgame. One of them has to die. Each one. That someone dies in your pair.
Why you gotta kill everybody?
You really are obsessed with death.
You want somebody to die.
I like drama, but I just think that a lot of times we talk about the game and we talk about, I mean, I know they're siblings, but I think a great example is the way we talk about Kaya and Diluc, right? We're always like, one of them's going to end up dying, and we're always like, which sibling's going to die, right? And I feel like for a lot of these couples, it could be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to die in your ships and why?
Diluc. Diluc, while he's fighting with Kaya, they both die trying to save each other. And this is what unlocks Jean's final ascension as Vanessa.
She just grows red hair.
Reincarnation. Yeah, that's the end game. She's actually the unknown god. I'm kidding. But yeah, Diluc would die. And then Lisa would come in and be like, I'm your OTP now.
She began your rebound.
It wouldn't be a rebound. It would just be together forever. And then I feel like Ningguang would die. She'd probably sacrifice the Jade Chamber, but maybe she thought Beidou was in the way of like whatever it be. So maybe she thought Beidou was still in the Jade Chamber, so she went in to try and save her, but Beidou was safe. And so, oh my god, tragic. This is just gonna make me cry. But I think Ningguang would die, and then Beidou would have this moment of like deep tears, and it'd be raining and storming, and it would just be so sad.
And then she finds out Ningguang left all of her money to her.
Yeah.
And she's like,
That wouldn't make her happy
"Hey."
though. She'd be like, "Ugh,
God damn it.
I can't revive her anyway. Like, what am I gonna do with this? And then it would be Keva, but he would just be stupid and die. And then Alhaitham will be sad and then like go on a fuckboy rampage.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, just to try and get over his one true love.
It like unlocks his internal homophobia,
Yes.
Oh no.
his internalized homophobia. He's
Oh,
like,
no.
he just like goes full slut.
He goes full slut because he can never get over his love for Keva, and just like to distract himself because he never truly told him he loved him.
Oh god, so sad.
I get real dark and tragic.
Well, for me, Kazuo Tomo, one of them already died. So that one's easy.
So that makes that easier.
Easy.
With Eulamber, I definitely think Amber would die, and it would be like so awesome to see Eula just like
Lose it?
Just go like full Dark Phoenix, like Ice Queen Dark
Yes.
Phoenix, and just like kill everyone, like just go berserk.
Mhm.
I would love that. And then with Ningguang Beidou, I actually would see Beidou dying, and because I feel like that would be an interesting scene to watch Ningguang have to try to keep herself together since she's
Okay.
the leader of the nation, really.
Yeah.
And like everyone's going to be like looking to her, so like her having to sort of very privately grieve whilst also like utilizing all of her resources to like seek vengeance on whoever did it.
So I think that with mine, with A and Yainiko, I think that Yainiko would be the one that would die and A would be like inconsolable. And I think just like B was saying about Eula and like going on this like ginormous rampage and everybody will feel my vengeance, A is going to do the same type of thing. She's going to be like, oh, you want to see something fucked up and just lose it.
That'd be scary too.
It would be horrifying.
I think with Rosaria and Shenhe, I almost feel it's the same kind of thing. I think Rosaria would die and Shenhe would be like, untie me, take the ropes off.
Yes.
Unlock the beast.
Unlock my crazy.
Let's
Here
go.
she goes.
Mhm.
And then I feel like with Sino and Candace, I feel like Sino would do everything to save Candace. And I feel like he would end up dying while trying to save her.
Right.
Aw.
Mine are kind of hard. And I asked the fucking question. I had
I
prep
was about
time.
to say.
I feel like in Hu Tao Zhao, I think Hu Tao would die. And my reason for
Are you
that,
gonna crush Zhao even more? Are you kidding me? This poor baby.
my reason for that is that Zhongli would probably call Zhao to do whatever bidding he needed to do during whatever time this is. Because I'm sure there's going to be some end of game, the sky is falling, Chicken Little shit going on. Like, and Zhongli is going to ask Zhao for help, and Zhao still feels indebted to Zhongli. And I think that Zhao would be out helping, and that Hu Tao would be trying to do her best back in Liyue Harbor or wherever it might be. And that something would happen to her and she would die, but Zhao would get there for like the final moments. Hu Tao would say his name like under her breath as she's dying type of thing, and then would summon him, and it'd be really, really depressing. And Hu Tao would be like, don't worry, I'm not scared of death, and I'll see you again because I know the afterlife and how it works. It'd be really sad.
Damn, your next story's writing itself.
Oh no.
Damn.
I think Shang Yun and Xing Shou. I think it would be Shang Yun, and I think it would be because
He combusted.
I mean, I think that Shang Yun, like, again, the sky is falling in this situation in my head. Like, all of Teyvat is fighting something. I just think that Shang Yun would go yang energy crazy on purpose to protect his friends and protect Liyue and protect Xing Shou. And I think something would happen. I think he would end up fighting alongside Shenhe, possibly. And I just could see something happening to him and him dying because of that. For Tighnari Sino, it's honestly, that's the hardest one because they're both like self-sacrificing people, but in different ways.
One already got electrocuted once.
Right. So Sino is self-sacrificing in a way where it's his duty, right? This is my job. This is what I have to do. And I'm going to sacrifice myself because that's what I have to do. Judgment, right? But Tighnari is more self-sacrificing in a way where he doesn't think about it. He just does it because he thinks it's the right thing to do. Like, I know it didn't happen, but I could see Tighnari pushing Deha out of the way and getting struck by lightning instead of her type of thing, even though that's not what happened.
Maybe they die together.
There is a part of me that thinks they would die together, but there's also a part of me that thinks that Tighnari would die because he's more emotionally reacting. So shoving Sino out of the way, shoving Kale out of the way, jumping in front of Kale, whatever it might be. I actually wrote something where he did jump in front of Kale and got like stabbed, but that's a different story for a different day. I just think that's like such his character, where Sino would have more thought behind it. He would take that extra second to think, and Tighnari wouldn't. He would just do to protect. So yeah, those are mine. Yeah, so I'm glad we ended this on a really sad note.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy
Happy
Valentine's Day. Go cry.
Also, our favorite Valentines, to the fans, to the people who listen.
Yes.
We're very attracted to you. Ooh, it's getting a little warm in here.
Is that the room, or is my yang energy spiking? Travelers, that is all the time we have today for our episode. We hope that everyone has a super amazing Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, Genshin-tine's Day, however you're spending it.
Sex day.
Whatever it might be. We hope you're having an amazing day. We want to remind you all that we'll be back March 15th for the start of season 2 of Tales of Teyvat, a Genshin Lore podcast. Otherwise, in the meantime, you can follow us at Tales of Teyvat Pod on Instagram or Tales of Teyvat on Twitter to stay up to date on everything we're doing. We have some fun content coming out in the meantime, and we really hope to see you guys on March 15th. Otherwise, travelers, safe journeys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, romantic nerds.